Hello aspirants, welcome to AQ IAS YouTube channel. This session is a part of our quick revision series Prelims Atulya. And in our previous sessions, we have covered the considerable portion of ancient history. And for today's session, we have picked extremely interesting topic. We'll focus on trade and commerce in ancient India. So friends, if you haven't watched our previous videos, then you can go through our playlist of Prelims Atulya and you can watch those videos because those sessions are extremely important for your upcoming prelims. So let's get started. Let's talk about trade and commerce in ancient India. So till the beginning of 18th century, almost every country imported something from India. Indians were known for fine cotton, silk fabric, spices, precious stones. So almost every nation on this planet obtained to a large extent these supplies. But unfortunately, the traditional prosperity of India is starting perishing at the dawn of industrial revolution. Now, Indians have always been very skillful, and during ancient times as well, they were known for their skills, their technical skills, their handicraft skills, their mastery over metalwork. Here I have mentioned about those skills, so you can go through this slide in order to have a little idea about the skills Indians possessed. Now, let's try to analyze the factors which favored trade, commerce, and manufacturing activities during ancient India. Then you must know that Hindu mercantile community was so resourceful. Those people were so shrewd, they had this business acumen, and they were known for their entrepreneurship skills. And besides this, Indian goods were known for their excellence. There wasn't any replacement for Indian goods. And Indian traders, you must know this fact that Indian traders possessed the knowledge of sea routes. They were aware of the movement of monsoon winds. So they would use their knowledge in order to conduct the trade. Now, for conducting the trade, you need infrastructure. So had the infrastructure existed in those times? Yes. Well, those roads were built using stones, wood, and in fact, River Ganga and its tributaries, they were used for carrying goods. Here you must know about Great Royal Highway. So during Mauryan times, this highway connected the Patliputra with Taxila and with northwest frontier. Though this highway was also utilized for conducting the trade. And here just remember about this important port of Tamralapti. This port in Bengal carried extensive trade with China, Ceylon, Java and Sumatra. And I have mentioned some of the important commercial towns of trade during ancient times, like Arikamedu, Madurai, Cochin, Bangalore, Patliputra, Vidisha, etc. You can go through these slides in order to have a little idea about these commercial towns, and if it is possible, read about the speciality of these commercial towns. Now we have the infrastructure, trade is happening, but you need currency as well. So let's talk about the currency during ancient period. Well, in our Vedic Age session, we talked about Nishka. This currency was circulation during Vedic times. And later, Suvarna currency. We discussed in our other sessions about Suvarna currency. And here you can remember about Karshapana. This Karshapana was the name of a coin which was minted in gold, silver and copper. So during Mauryan period, we know that punch-marked coins were used. And we have already discussed about punch-marked coins in our previous sessions. And in South India, remember, Varaha currency was circulated. So you can remember about Varaha currency. Now let's try to know about trade during the Vedic times. So here I'm going to tell you an interesting fact. People, they had this knowledge of sea routes. And god Varuna is credited with the knowledge of sea routes. And we discussed during our Harappan session about the trade they established with Egypt and Crete. Here we cannot miss about Lothal in Gujarat, because Lothal in Gujarat was one of the biggest port towns of those times. So you can study about Lothal town separately, you can prepare the notes. Now let me put some light on the trading class. Well, we know that traditional trading class in India was Vaisyas. Albeit this profession was followed later by Parsis, Baniyas and Marwadis. And we know that Vaisya community was the richest among all these business classes. And these merchants and traders we discussed in our previous sessions, these traders organized themselves into guilds. And different names were given to these guilds. Nigmas, Srishti Vinjas, Sartavahas. Okay. And remember about Sreni, it was an assembly of persons following a common craft or trade. So it was the general term used for both merchant and artisan guilds. Now, according to Katyayana, there were four grades of partnership for sharing the profit. Like in modern times as well, people they come together and they establish a firm. So same would happen during ancient time as well. Okay, so remember about these guilds. Now I would like to highlight about Mandasore inscription. It mentions about the guild of silk weavers at Dasapura. So this guild built a sun temple. Okay, so these it means these guilds were so rich, they were so prosperous. And here we have the example about this guild of silk weavers at Dasapura. Why? Because they built a sun temple. Now you must remember that these merchant guilds emerged as a front to resist depredation by highway robbers. So these guilds were very effective in facilitating the trade. Now let's try to analyze the situation in South India as far as the trade is concerned. Here we have to study about Cholas, because Cholas they gave great boost to foreign trade. They also followed the same strategy. Merchants and traders they organized themselves into guilds. We have some names as well. I have provided in the slide, so you can try to know about the names of these guilds. In fact, Chola rulers in those times they sent trading missions to China. And remember, there was this huge demand for Indian products in China. Here I would like to emphasize on times during Vijayanagara period. Guilds in those times they were relatively more organized, and members of guilds were called as Veera Banajigas. In fact, if I recall, a question was asked in UPSC as well regarding this guild. So you can try to memorize this point. And I have given some names which were used for merchants in southern India. So you can try to memorize these names as well. I know memorizing these names is going to be a hectic task, but these are very important for your upcoming prelims. So we have discussed almost all significant aspects as far as the trade and commerce in ancient India is concerned. And if you have any suggestions, you can mention in the comment section. And if you have liked our initiative, then you can subscribe our YouTube channel for more such videos, and you can follow our social media platforms for daily current affairs content. That's all for today's session. I'll see you in the next session. Thank you very much.